Hello, it has been a while since I did a full video of Black woman's point of view. Um, Today I decided to do a video, which I've been posting, but basically shorts and stuff on YouTube and a little bit on Facebook. But I want to talk about this topic. Normally when I do videos, it's pretty much a serious topic that I'm talking about. Well, this topic that I'm going to talk about today has really hit close to home. I mean, it's really close to me. I feel the emotions swelling up inside me now. Well, it's about Nolan Wells. In my younger years, my early 20s, after my mother had passed in Georgia, she was originally from Mississippi. So when she passed, her side of the family came to the funeral, and which shouldn't really never happen if I would have respected my mother's wishes like she asked me to. But I thought it was for the better, looking at they was supposed to be family. And but anyway, they ended up coming to her funeral. And well, that's how the way I migrated to Mississippi. I got to Mississippi. I had been going when my mother was living as a child. She used to send me down there periodically. A lot of times my mother was sickly. She'll get sick, needed somebody to watch me. And I believe a lot of times she had to send me to Mississippi. She really didn't have no choice because she was trying to keep me out the system. And my grandmother was living. It was fine and gravy when my mother was living, which is my mama. Cause anytime I was with my mother, I knew I was all right. I was safe. But anytime that when I wasn't up under her care, I went through it. But anyway, that's another story in itself. Let's get back to where my mother passed away. She passed away in 2000. Like I said, her family came to Georgia, blah, 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 blah. So as time passed, I'm going through my own little situation here in Georgia. I'm missing my mama, grieving. They had told me to come on back home. So I ended up going to Mississippi. Well, while down there, it was me and my children father. He came with me too. We had a family crisis. It's caused all type of disruption. I got involved with the police. I'm not going to say that I was perfect in the situation, but it was a lot of injustice that was handled when it came to me. I'm going to tell y'all like this. The only reason why I know I'm here today is because of the Creator. It's because of the Creator. That's the only reason why I'm here. And I want to give you a little bit on that. We will talk about more of it through the show. And also on today's video, I will be showing clips of Judge Carlos, former judge that served on the bench in Mississippi in 2 counties. He now resides here in Georgia. How the way he break it down in the video, y'all, he basically is giving us how the way it's supposed to go. And I know the man know what he's talking about. He was a judge for over 6 years, right in 6 years, but I believe it was over 6 years. He said that they ain't following the proper process of things at all. Not at all. And he was somewhere, he says retired, but they basically forced him out because he wasn't going to bow down to their status quo. He just wasn't going to do it. What's wrong was wrong. And evidently, you got to be a God, a man, to walk away from that. And had the ball to say, you ain't finna mess with now one of mine. I don't care what I done did. He's bad. I don't care what I done did. You better not mess with now one of mine. Because see, they know he got the same type of pull. And then I'm going to show clips of this talk show, how the way they already trying to change the narrative there in Mississippi, at least with the black folk down there. They got to keep them on. I'm going to tell y'all, so when I stayed in Mississippi, it wasn't just on the white folk. It was our own color too. They'll keep you down worse than it. I mean, it's about everywhere. But in Mississippi, it's like, oh, it's just like a rampant, like a, oh. I mean, a lot of times you ain't got to worry about the white man. You got to worry about your own color. Walking all over you, stepping on you. And then also to the Nolan parents, y'all stay strong. Y'all, I know right now y'all can't even grieve like y'all want to. Because y'all got to handle this matter about your baby. I don't know if you see this, but don't give up. Just don't give up. And then, like I said, we're going to share more, but right now I want us to get into this video.
6.5 years on the bench in not only Clarksdale, Mississippi, but I served for 4 years on the bench in Grenada, Mississippi. So come on in, invite your friends, invite your family, invite your relatives. If you want to hear a real person's experience, with experience as a judge in Mississippi, opinion about whether or not there should be an immediate arrest or arrest of those suspected of foul play in relation to the death of Nolan Wells off the Gulf Coast of Mississippi. Come on in and hear from the horse's mouth someone who had the authority to sign not only search warrants, but arrest warrants. Someone who presided over initial appearances, arraignments, and preliminary hearings for those accused of murder and other heinous crimes in Mississippi. I can talk now that I am a retired judge. Had I still been sitting as an active judge, I could not give you my opinion about an ongoing matter. But now I'm a retired judge, and I'm a practicing lawyer in Tennessee, and I reside in Atlanta, Georgia, but I'm from the Mississippi Gulf Coast, and I know the law, and I can give you my unfiltered opinion about what I believe should be occurring now or in the near future. Come on in. I have time tonight. I have time. And I'll be happy to give you my opinions, and then I will be happy to answer any questions that you may have. It's time out for playing games. It's time to know the truth from someone well versed in it, that has actual experience. I've worn the robe, the black robe, and I've presided over these trials or preliminary hearings, arraignments, and initial appearances. Let's get started. So what do we know? We know, after watching the parents' interview and reviewing tons of footage from social media, recounting interviews and statements of alleged witnesses that were on Horn Island, we know that Nolan Wells went to spend the night on July the 3rd with his so-called friends. And he went with those so-called friends to Horn Island on a boat on July the 4th. We know that out of the 4 people on that boat, 1 did not return home. That one person was Nolan Wells. The other three returned home as normal and said nothing to any member of law enforcement or to the Coast Guard until at least 11 p.m. at night on July the 4th. We know that at least one of the so-called friends was found with the phone of Nolan Wells. And we know this based on the testimony of the parents, specifically the mother, who tracked the phone and was led to the home of one of the young men where she retrieved the phone. We also know that based on the mother's testimony that there were no Snapchats from the day, which was very odd for her son. We also know that text messages were deleted. We know that when she was tracking the phone, Life 360 said the phone was one place and Snapchat said it was another place. We know that the boy that had the phone did not voluntarily turn it over or call first. He had to be found through their own investigation. We know that based on witnesses' account, the so-called friends were seen on July the 5th, that Sunday, having breakfast together like nothing had happened. They were not out there searching for their so-called friend. We know that the so-called friends deleted their social media, deactivated their accounts, and scrubbed it clean if the allegations are correct. We know that the young man that had the car at his house did not willingly turn over the keys. At first he said that he did not have the keys, he didn't know where they were, then he, after being pressed by the father, he finally turned over the keys. This is all very suspicious activity. We know that based on an audio recording and some video that Nolan Wells can be heard saying, give me my freaking keys, give me my freaking phone. And there's been two different versions. Some said he said, give me my freaking phone, or some say he said, give me my MF phone. Regardless, he was asking or demanding his phone. Someone had his phone who did not have permission to have his phone. So the first thing I see, the simplest thing I see is who had his phone and why? And was that theft of the phone? Sometimes we look at the largest case, we try to get to murder, but the person that took his phone committed a crime right there. There are witnesses to who took that phone. If an affidavit is signed, an arrest warrant could be signed by a judge in Mississippi to go after that person that had that phone unlawfully. We know, based on his own words, Nolan Wells' words while he was alive, he did not give whoever had that phone permission to have that phone. So, was that theft? I think if an affidavit is signed, if it was presented to me when I was a judge, I would have signed an arrest warrant for the person for theft of that phone, based on what I've heard. It'd have to be an affidavit format, but if it was presented to me in affidavit format from law enforcement, I would sign the arrest warrant for, at least at this point, theft of the man's phone. We know who had it. We know who then reported to the family. The family had to go find it, and we know that Nolan Wells said give it back to him, and evidently it was not given back to him. Why was that? We are nearly 7 days after July the 4th, when he was first reported missing. There should have been evidence submitted by Jackson County law enforcement agents, the Sheriff's Department specifically, presented to a judge so that search warrants could be signed by the judge, and there needs to be, or should have been, someone questioning the young men, the three so-called friends, and others, and the social media accounts need to be searched by now, or at least a search warrant should have been issued for the appropriate entities to give the law enforcement access to the social media information. That should have been done by now. I'm not telling you what I imagine. I'm telling you what the process usually is when you're trying to do a thorough investigation. And
So as you can see in the video, the former judge, he pretty much laid it out there at what's supposed to been happening. You know, because they already got suspicious, you know, activities, suspicious, you know, people acting strangely. And he's saying that's ground enough right there for a search warrant. The phone wasn't returned, you know, like free will. The parents had to track it down. The mother tracked it down, of course, we all know through app 360, Life 360. I have used the app myself. It's a good app. So right there, I want to say when I'm a spiritual type of person, and Judge Carlos, he just don't know how much I truly believe that. I think God placed him in that position for this moment. Because, see, they can't deny now that they doing everything they supposed to do. This man, he's an inside man. He was once an inside man in the state that's is under question now. And they can't deny him. I mean, how you gonna say that? I mean, it's true that he was a judge in Mississippi. He know the proper procedures. See, God put the people in their place, you know. Even though I'm on the other side of the tracks when it comes from Judge Carlos, but I think we're working for the same boss, you know. So to speak. I'm gonna tell you, like I said, when it all boiled down to it, you know, really was we all here because of the creator, but in some situations when you don't have nobody to turn to, you done exhaust all avenues, and you like, Lord, I could really perish here. I could really be, you know, coming to you sooner than later. And he stepped in. You start giving the guidance, something move you. Go back to that person that just told you no. And go back to that person that told you no. And all of a sudden they give it to you. You got to know that's the Lord. They ain't change their mind on their own. They ain't do it on their own. It was something, that moment, that pivotal moment. You have y'all ever heard of the story about Daniel when he was in the lion's den, you know, out of the Bible? Y'all remember how the way the Lord saved him with something so simple. It was so simple. Daniel hiding in the lion's den. Soldiers come looking for him. Why Daniel slept? God had his spot. He said, go weave a wheel right there. Go weave that wheel right there in that doorway of that lion's den. So the next following morning, When the soldiers come out looking for Daniel, they pass right by the line because they see that spider web. Sorry about that, the camera cut off. But getting back to the lion's den. So the next morning, when the soldiers came out looking for Daniel, they passed by the lion's den though because of that spider web. How could a human went through that door and the spider web is right there? God is amazing. The Creator is amazing. The great I am is amazing. Something so small, use it for total redirection. So it's reckoning time for Mississippi. They already comparing this case to Emmett Till. Already. Emmett Till happened over, I think, a good 70-something years ago. I could be wrong. But somewhere, sorry y'all, I had to switch up cameras. The camera I was using before, it kept filling on me. So, but to get back to what I was talking about, yeah, Mississippi, it's time for them to, it's time to pay the piper. They gotta pay some debts. Talk a little bit more about my situation. I know Nolan's parents and everyone that's helping in the cause. I'm not going to say you got to be low down and dirty as the officials and law enforcement are in Mississippi, but you must be clever. I'm here to tell you, you got to be clever. I was born in this world by mega means. I have saw some days where money flow has been great to me. But during the situation where I was going through with Mississippi, with my family, with law enforcement, I was not financially able at that time to get my own representation. Actually, I didn't have the proper mindset because I was so angry at a certain person about what was going on with our family. And but I realized once I got into the trouble, I had to think quickly because I wasn't financially stable to get a lawyer that I know would have my best interest in her, or at least love my money enough to do whatever they had to do to make sure that I would get out of jail. But like I said, I did not have that, so I quickly realized, Mary, you got to learn some law. You got to learn some law. Now, you know you ain't perfect, but how the way they handle the situation, it ain't right. So I eventually did go to prison, but with guidance of my protector, my savior, the Creator, Jesus Christ, and me having enough common sense to realize, look, Bucko, you gonna have to think of something else because these folks trying to kill you, and if they can't kill you without them thinking they could get away, they gonna railroad you anyway. They want to oppress you. I realized I had experienced racism with law before this incident, but not as intense as what I was going through then in Mississippi. I'm gonna show you the golden star that they give us once you offer probation. I did 3 years in prison. I'll make sure I show you that. I'm gonna show you that right now, the golden star. Well, that's what they give you when you're in prison. I mean, once you finish your sentence and finish probation, you receive that. When you finish parole, you receive that. And so on the Golden Star that I received, they gave me 7 more years post-dated release, probation. And then after that 7 years, it said 5 years unsupervised, non-reporting probation. That's 13 years in all. By federal law, if I ain't mistaken, you don't supposed to do no more than 5 years on paper when it come to probation. Any time over that, you supposed to serve time. But let me tell you what they were doing, reason why they set it up like that. Before they finally sentenced me for the charges that I was facing, I had to basically manipulate my way to the DA. And I'm going to tell y'all how I did it. The lawyer that they appointed to me at the time, his name was Stacy Springs. If I ain't mistaken, it been about a couple years ago. I looked him up. I think the Joker still living. I think he's still living. But the lawyer name was Stacy Springs. And one day while we was in court, he clearly let me know he didn't give a damn what happened to me. He said it to my face. He said he didn't give a damn what happened to me. I'm already thinking beforehand, I'm like, you need to do some things on your own. But when that man, supposed to be a lawyer, I think they take oaths too. Representation is automatic in this country. Representation without bias. Representation they're supposed to find all the facts. Told me they didn't give a damn what happened to me. So from that point on, I was on a mission, I was on a mission to break the relationship of attorney-client. So it took me 3 times to go to court before I got in front of Judge Chamberlain. Judge Chamberlain of DeSoto County, Mississippi. When I finally got in front of Judge Chamberlain, I let him know that I no longer wanted Stacy Spriggs as my attorney. He told me, Judge Chamberlain told me, he said, well, I got to understand whether or not you mentally competent to handle your case. I want you to go back to the jail, which was like right across the street, and look up the word fracta. When that judge told me that, when I made it back to the jailhouse, I put in my first request for law material and dictionary. He spelled it Freda, Freda. I looked in the dictionary, and it was not there. I haven't looked it up recently, but I believe I am going to look it up. And he told me, find that word and tell me the meaning of it your next time in court. Okay. So I think about a week or two went by. I was in court again. And he didn't even ask me about the word but. We went straight to the back to talk to the DA. By this time, Stacey Spriggs was taking me a little more seriously. Like I said, the judge would not let me break relationship bond from Stacey Spriggs. And before the last time I went to court, Stacey Spriggs came to the jailhouse twice because I requested for my motion of discovery. The first time he came to the jailhouse, he gave me a motion of discovery that was 1 page. 1 page. A motion of discovery. People that know a little bit about law, that is rare for you to get 1 page of motion of discovery. That means the DA ain't got no case on it. Gave me 1 page. I'm reading this 1 page. I wish I had it to this day. But I no longer have that 1 page motion because I done moved around since this time and things that got misplaced. Then, I say a couple days later, he came back to the jailhouse. He gave me another motion of discovery. It's probably about that thick. I say it had about a good 12, 13 pages, which is still small for a motion of discovery. But compared to the first motion of discovery and this motion of discovery, had a lot more detail. A lot more detail. What the DA was going to present, blah, 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 blah. By this time, I feel like word had made it back to Stacey Spriggs. She asking for law material. She asking for law material. I was like, wow. So, by the time I made it back to the courthouse, judge had asked me, look up the word. So the judge asked me to look up the word further things has happened. So when I make it to jailhouse, the first thing Stacey Spriggs like, look, we finna talk to the DA. And they wanted me to take a plea deal of 5 years simple assault on the officer. Because I had got to fighting with the officer. That's another story. Y'all, I believe reason why that story don't affect me because I am naturally a fighter. I am naturally a fighter. I don't like fighting, but I will fight. You know what I'm saying? So it don't hurt me as emotionally. I don't like the fact that they attacked me the way they did. But I believe they learned something that day. Yes, they did. But anyway, that's the reason why they were trying to shoot at me. The 5 years simple assault charge on the officer, and it was a felony. I refused that, knowing I didn't know much about the law, but I done had friends and stuff that had went down that road, and they told me, and I remember I listened. And you can't go down the road violating what you in there for. If you understand what I'm saying. You can't go down the road catching DRs, VRs, RVRs, whatever they call them. Disciplinary actions. You can't go down the road catching them type of charges thinking that you're going to get out earlier. So I wouldn't take that plea deal. They wanted me to go down the road 5 years on simple assault on the offer, 5 years, 5 years 5 year probation, I think it was. I'm like, hell no. I ain't finna plead guilty to no shit like that. We gonna take this bitch to trial. I got to plead guilty because I know the motherfucker they had no business putting their goddamn hands on me. You know. But anyway, in the wrong way. But anyway, so I went out there. So we went back and talked to the DA. The DA said, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to send you down the road 7 years of truck theft. Now receiving stolen property. That's what they got on the goal. Start receiving stolen property and I think it's something like theft, something else. But anyway, I was like, once I saw what my lawyer stood, because when we saw the video of I would never forget what he said. When he looked at this video and this video stopped playing, the first word came out this man's mouth. He was kind of dumbfounded, but he had went too far at this time to turn back what he was willing to do to make sure they keep this shit up on the rug. He had saw the video he let me know he saw the video for the first time. This man didn't even try to go get evidence on my behalf. He didn't even try to look at what the DA had on me. So we watching the video, the first thing come out that man's mouth, what they tase you for? What did they tase you for? Y'all, I was sitting in the cell, this man, it was like when a makeshift cell, but got them big holes in. He was able to shoot the tase, and the tase hit me in my stomach. Well, I'm sitting there, I'm taking that bitch. I'm taking that tase. And when he finally opened up that little cell door, I ran out on. We got to struggle. Yeah, I know it took about 5 or 6 of them to get me down. But I don't want to get too much in it. But anyway, that's the reason why I was having so much trouble with the judge at the time. With this whole situation. But I didn't have the money. But I was clever. And I just want to say this to Nolan and them family, the people that are hippie. When it comes to them bastards in Mississippi, money really don't mean shit. Let me tell you that. You got to have some wits. You got to have some wits. Now, don't get me wrong, they slow as all get out, but they constantly changing the game. They constantly changing the motherfucking game. That they do. And also, let me tell you, they got a little saying down there. It goes like this. It's a dirty game, but somebody got to do it. It's a dirty game, but somebody got to play it. That's how it goes. It's a dirty game, but somebody got to play it. Y'all can go on and on about my situation, but I don't want to lose too much focus on Nolan. But I'm just trying to I don't know if these folks will ever see this video or whatever. I don't know. But I know this. Don't y'all give up. And the little bit that I do know, what I done went through, what I done experienced with them bastards, is this. You got to stay on your P's and Q's. Because they going to constantly switch it up. Constantly switch it up. Mississippi had me sitting in jail in Georgia 3 times on the same motherfucking one. Talking about I owed them money. I was like, oh motherfucking well, the only way y'all gonna get some more money out of me is through this damn commissary. And that's what I meant, and that's what it was. That's the only way. You already took most of the important years of my life. My children ain't been with me. And I'm at the point again, I don't know much about how the way the world supposed to work. That's why I leave that in the Lord's hand. But I know a lot about what I done went through. I know that. And I know when it comes to Nolan and family, the situation, they already trying to cover it up, because goddamn it, how the fuck you gonna say that the phone, I mean, she had to literally track down her son's phone. That foul play right there. See, let me come down. I can't hardly think. This thing made me emotional. Before this video, I had to really get all my emotion out, scream. I had to scream, y'all. I've been for years, I always wanted to talk about my situation, but I'm like, the Lord let me survive. My kids still here. We struggling, emotionally with the family, the situation, but we still here. It's always a chance for us. But sometimes things happen. God would say, you better not keep sitting still. You better let somebody know. And this is the perfect time to let somebody know. And I really ain't concerned about my case no more. Right now, I want to use my energy to make sure this young man receive justice. Like I was saying, they're already comparing the case to Emmett Till. As we know, nobody was never arrested in that case. I mean, they was arrested, but nobody was never held accountable in that case. So I'm at the point I am freaking tired. I am tired. Why I got to be in fear? Why I got to be in fear to walk around on God's green earth? I ain't finna be in fear. I done heard people tell other black people say, well, you shouldn't let your child hang with white. Yeah, I understand. I do really understand the concept, but fucking why we got to be like this? They children come over with our kids. They don't got to worry about their children like that. They don't got to do it. And I'm tired of us going through this shit. Common goddamn sense would told whoever out there on that fucking island not to leave that child behind. It did. Y'all want to say we the bad people. At least we got enough common sense to realize we don't want to do the shit to nobody else that we don't want to be done to us. Some of my black people, you done got it. Let me tell y'all something, y'all. I don't give a dabble in black arts, but them motherfuckers deep in that shit in Mississippi. And they thought I didn't know. I might not know exactly what y'all doing because I don't dip a dab in it like that. But I tell you one thing, I read the word. It already done let me know about it. It already done let me know about it. I ain't know exactly, but God revealed it to me like, watch out for that. Something wrong with that. Yes, the Lord allowed things to happen. Let me calm down. I'm keep 4 minutes on my show. But anyway, I'm just looking at how the way my eyes look on this camera, y'all. This is what they want to bring out of us too. Really, it's in me. I really don't care. If they really want to admit it, they know I'm a fucking fool down there. Cause I was at the point that how the way things were going, I can't be around my children. Goddamn, y'all fucking around, put your hand on me. What are y'all bitches going with me? That's how I was about the situation. Lord knows I ain't lying. They knew it too, cause they goddamn knew when to fucking stop. Before I left at that jailhouse, everything I requested, we got it. I'm down in the jail cell. We had a microwave right there in the jail cell. We had moving night. They especially night. They bring moving so we can have us a movie night. Popcorn, they provide popcorn and everything for us. And I know it was a lot of to keep my black ass calm. I knew that. And I wasn't no joke in that motherfucking prison either. It ain't about bragging, but I'm just trying to let y'all know how the way these folks got to stand. And they want to make the whole system set up. The little hierarchies in Mississippi, they need to be dismantled. And they need to do it with bloodline. If you were part of this bloodline, no, you cannot serve. I am so sorry. You cannot, especially because to the white folk. And it's some of the black people too. You cannot serve. I know you might be the sweetest thing, but I am so sorry for your bloodline. This what your bloodline is known about. You can't serve. Now, I'm going to show y'all another little clip of this talk show there in Mississippi. And just to let y'all know, they already trying to work together and change the narrative. They just trying to put it so much on this child drowning. So much that this child drowned. It was an accident. It ain't nowhere in the world. Y'all out there pointing and Nola in the water drowning. See, y'all, I can't hardly talk and stuff like that. Y'all please excuse me. But Nolan in the water struggling. Nobody see it. And then you left, and then y'all made up a story where you left that he was gonna stay with the girl, and the girl said she would come to her. Bye. All a bunch of hard shit to me. I really don't care to listen to it. Cause we know I'm tired of these folks playing in our goddamn faces. I ain't so y'all better be glad I wasn't born back in slavery day. This personality that y'all got right here in front of y'all now, y'all better be so glad. And ain't no reason why I'm saying it like that. So glad that I wasn't born in slavery day. Y'all know it. And I truly believe in my heart, this video gonna make it to the right certain people, and they gonna see me, the one they wanted to destroy. I know who I was into it with: Sheriff Roscoe, George Perry. I know who all I was into it with. I know what y'all were part of. I just had my kid attitude. I know exactly what y'all were part of. DeSoto County. But I do want to say that it was a few. Everybody ain't bad at down there. But baby, they got to be just as clever. They got to know how to camouflage, especially a white person they kill. Woo, Lord. A white person they kill? Oh, they got to be some clever motherfuckers to deal with them white folk down there. Y'all think it happened bad to the black folks? Just imagine them white folks that done got killed and nobody know. Oh yeah, I know about things like that too. Tortured. And nobody know but the people who did. And the good Lord. And I said to say that y'all ain't got away with nothing. Nothing. You hiding in front of masses. But best believe, you can't hide from the Creator. You can't hide from him. I know in my soul it has been white people that have stood up for us. And them folks tortured them and made sure that it did not hit nobody else but the people who did it. But like, let me go ahead and show y'all this clip. Y'all see I get pretty emotional. I'm finna hurry up and end this too. But I get pretty emotional. But I'm gonna show you this clip how the way they act down there. They're trying to already change the narrative. Get everybody to believe them. It's a spiritual thing too, y'all. It's spiritual too. It's spiritual too. Black folk believe it. And you ain't got to do all that dark magic stuff to compete with them. You trust in the Lord. He'll show you how to go away by things. You be like, no, what I'm doing is. Don't worry about it. He got it. He know why you doing what you doing. Talking about the devil made you do it. Now, sometimes that's the Lord controlling you. Now, the devil get you to do some old crazy whack dash. You know what? That might be true when it comes to them bells. That just might be true when it comes to them bells. But I know the Lord, when it come on my behalf, the Lord had me to do it. He didn't make me do it. He had me to do it. I give him control over this vessel. It's my decision. You going to either choose go good or evil. I choose good. I ain't perfect. I ain't perfect. But I know not to be sitting up just harming folks. Just to be harming them because I think I got that type of power. Now you come and fuck with me, you get fucked up in the process, that's on you. That's on you. But I ain't for just going out. It amazes me how some people can sit up and just sit back and dislike a person. They ain't got the norm or nothing like that. Or I can understand, sometimes people have where they present themselves could throw you off. I do. But have you ever thought about, especially like if a person had a hygiene problem, have you ever thought about if I tell them or give them something, it might make them look at themselves differently. They might start taking care of themselves better. You never know what that person going through or how they was raised. You never know. But anyway, I'm going to show you the little video, y'all.
Things that really makes this difficult is all the social media speculation, the race baiting, the armchair detectives. None of this is helpful. I mean, bottom line is this is super painful for the family and all the friends who knew this young man. And we've just got to wait for the investigation to finish, and we will come out on the other side, and I believe begin to kind of heal. So there's so much more that I can say, and we'll talk more about this in depth now with Sean Tyndall, who is the commissioner of Department of Public Safety here in Mississippi, and a good friend of the show. I've known him for many, many, many years. And I know that his heart is broken too as a result of the chain of events. But Sean, how you doing, my friend?
Doing well. Sad week, tragic week. Of course, for me, it hits really close to home, and that I've got an 18-year-old that just graduated high school. Has got a whole life in front of him, and much like Nolan and his friends, they get together, they go out, they do things, they think they're invincible, so it hits very, very, very close to home.
Welcome to the 7-Day Police Station Challenge. What you've inherited is a broken down, underfunded precinct.
So it hits very, very, very close to home.
It is. Listen, you're an experienced boater, and as you well know, I am as well. I have been fishing and enjoying the coastal waters of Mississippi and beyond for all of my life, literally. I mean, I can't even remember a time when I wasn't on the water. But listen, any experienced boater who knows either the west end of Ship Island or the west end of Horn Island knows that when the tide is going out, that tide and the current there can be extreme. In fact, I was entertaining some folks out many years ago, and someone got caught in that current, and we nearly lost him. I mean, we barely got him. And because he was being swept away very rapidly, and it's a good thing that he was a good swimmer, or he may have been pulled under. But as you pointed out when you had the conversation with Richard Cross this week, it is the silent killer. It's something we all fear, because what happens is those people come up there and they dock their boats, or they don't dock, they anchor. And what happens, I mean, there are hundreds and hundreds of boats that go there, especially on a weekend like 4th of July weekend. And what happens is people get in there and the boats get congregated, and then another layer of boats go on top of that, then another layer of boats. And what happens is if you're 3 or 4 boats deep, the boats that are toward the deep water are very close to a drop-off. And I looked at some of the photos. Some of the people were actually chest deep, which indicated to me that they were very close to the drop-off. So that situation with that congregation of people, with the boats and the loud music and all of that, drinking underage, all the things that are happening there, it's a miracle this doesn't happen more often. And I'm not suggesting I know what happened. I'm just saying it could be very likely that he was swept under, and we'll wait for the investigation to finish. But you know the scenario well yourself, don't you?
Oh yeah, and look, I looked up some articles from, I think, 2015 in the Sun Herald that talked about 2 teenagers that had drowned at Ship Island, the dangers of the tips. And so this is a conversation we've had before. I don't know that it's ever garnered this kind of attention, but it is a great opportunity to educate a lot of people that if you're going out to those islands, you really need to be careful on those west tips. And I'm here at my mom's place. We were just talking about my stepdad that we would go out there and would routinely tell me, stay away from the tip. Don't go out there. Don't swim to that buoy on the west tip of Ship Island. It's very attractive. You think you can make it, but you're going to get swept away. And so that was just ingrained in me. And I think a lot of people need to hear that. A lot of people on the coast, I was always amazed, and never been out to the islands. And so they've got kids going out there. You need to educate your kids about some of those dangers. Again, not making any assumptions as to what happened here. The investigation's still ongoing. The family deserves answers. We want them to have those answers. And so we need to complete that investigation to ensure that. But it is also a time when we can talk about the dangers of those islands and how quickly things can go bad, and educate people so that we can avoid this in the future. If it was a drowning, I think it's important that we take the opportunity to try to make sure that we don't have this happen again, and we can avoid this in the future. And part of that is, it's a dangerous place to be alone. When you're out there, it's always good to have a friend that stays with you, that you stick together, and that you don't leave somebody by themselves, because it is dangerous, and then you have a lot of unanswered questions when somebody's left alone. You and I, we
So y'all done saw the video. You see how the way they keep trying to push narrative as Nolan drowned, and want to say they want to educate people on how to care. Yeah, I understand. Blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. First thing the host said, social media is just making it so hard for the division. Da, 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 da. Now, y'all done made it hard. They done made it hard. I ain't saying you directly, but hey, if you trying to help cover, you too. Trying to cover it up, it's you too. Y'all done made it hard. It's ridiculous how the way the folks see it now, I know. Y'all, I stayed in Jackson after I got released from prison. I did my parole time in Jackson, Mississippi. It is some parts of the town you will see these little signs that say sick zone. So at first I really was paying, but and I just stopped and started really looking at these signs say sick zone, sick zone. I'm like, why the fuck did they got that over Jackson? That motherfucker said sick zone. They got diseases around this bitch passing them out like it's Tic Tacs or something. But y'all, I believe reason why. I can't prove it. And anybody else that has stayed there and won't tell the truth, y'all look, especially people that have been violated by Mississippi authorities at their systems, they setups. Man, y'all get on their mud, start telling your story. Nolan needed right now. Be a class action act on their ass. Crump, and Trump. This be a fine time for you to change the narrative, my boy. We need federal assistance. Yes, we do, sir. You see these bastards. They shot at you. The white bastards shot at Trump. Y'all, you see him, President Trump. This be a fine time to take out your aggression on their asses, on their lily white. Let me stop, y'all. But anyway, it just goes to show you, Nolan, mother and father, y'all don't give up. Y'all really gonna have to, I think y'all gonna have to be clear. And if enough of us get to speak, y'all don't have to go through all that. They just, quit trying to fight it and let these folks, whoever was involved in his transition, go ahead and suffer the consequence. Why keep cursing your race? Just go ahead and let these people suffer the consequence. I ain't gonna get into detail, possibly what happened, whatever. But we know what the final outcome was. And we know it wasn't no doggone accident. Because of the accident, it would have got reported way quicker than what got reported. You gonna wait. Y'all go a whole day without seeing, almost a whole day, a whole evening without seeing your friend, and you just decide to call his folks at 11 something at night. Y'all were covering up something. Y'all were doing something to get something in order on them hours. Then, you know, they got accusations saying that he was at a pool party. He made it from the island, went to this pool party. And I'm kind of thrown with it, but I ain't gonna get it. But I know for a fact that shit wasn't no accident. It's foul play up in there. And then you ain't got to have no video, no nothing. It's just how the way they going about things. Letting you know something ain't right. You done went almost a whole evening without supposedly your friend. And you don't call his folk. Knowing that I was on the island. You say you left me at the island. See, y'all, that was just a play tag. Like, yeah, we just waited a while. I'm like, we expected him. We just letting y'all know this shit ain't working. It's not working. And they're going to really try to play this out in court. That's why I know I'm going to be back at least talk about this topic one more time, because I am waiting on that autopsy. It better not be no bruises on that boy body. If it's one bruise on his body that's questionable, that means that whole Jackson police department need to be fired and investigated. Fired and investigate. I'm sorry for the ones that really wasn't doing them wrong. They just trying to, keep their head low and just make it on through. I'm sorry. You guilty too, because you ain't saying nothing. You ain't saying nothing. Only ones I think probably gets to leave, they been there under a year. That's the only ones that probably get a little leeway. But y'all can't work there. Y'all got to go to another department. You can't work there. It better not be nothing on that child body. No bruise, no crack or anything like that. And the shirt need to be. And that shirt got on national TV and said they don't expect foul play. Wow. Well, I'm gonna let y'all go. I just spoke my, statement. And like I said, I never know if Nolan family will ever see these or it may worry about, but y'all stay strong. My prayers is with y'all. Y'all not only fighting for Nolan. Y'all fighting for so many people that didn't have a voice, didn't have the resources or the know-how to get the help that they needed. Y'all stay strong. And we love it. And black folks, I said now, and I want to point this out before I go. This year has been turbulent. And we only a good 7 months in. When it comes to people passing away under law enforcement in a suspicious way. We started out the year, first thing that hit National Airways about the death of Good. Then we had come out, it was in reverse. ISIS had, where it was one of the off-duty agents that had a confrontation, not really an encounter, basically, because it was a new year and people were shooting and a young black man died. I forget his name. I gotta look that up. I had did a little report on him. I'm getting old, y'all. And then so many more things that happened during this shit. I don't know all of them. Y'all, if you stayed on this all day, looking at everybody, you would be one depressed person. Especially when you ain't got the resources to get out there and really help you folk. I think that's another reason. If I had the money and the resources to really move around like I need to and help these people with my wits, I would. Especially in the case like that, I would love to look some of them bastards in the eye and say, I'm back. You know. Never know. Because they thought they was going to destroy me. Despite the differences that me and my children have, I've been blessed to live to see 4 grandbabies. 4. It's a blessing, y'all, because that was something that my mother didn't get to do. She passed away a month before I had my son. That's something big to me, y'all. But they wanted to stop that. They wanted to crush my wheels so bad. They thought I wasn't going to be able to stick around long enough to see the blessings. Once again, in Nolan parent, we love y'all. Y'all stay strong. If you see the video and you want me to give you insight on anything, just leave a message in my description, or I done left stuff in my description you get in contact with. I'll let you know. I got all type of paperwork on that book. And I'm telling you, Mr. Crump, it gonna take a real force to deal with these idiots in Mississippi. Because they think they know it all. They think they get away with anything that they got away with it for so long. It's really time to shut them down. They upholding laws, codes, and statutes. They ain't even in guidance with the federal statutes. They letting them run like they're a whole nother country. Federal is letting that southern state run like it's a whole nother country when it comes to law. So I'm going to be out, and y'all have a good one. And y'all keep staying special black folk. We don't need everybody. There's only one ethnic group that I think that we need to coincide with, and that's the natives. And not necessarily them come out help us protest, but we need to learn some things from them. We really need to be having our own law. You know that a lot of the natives, the land that they own, when it comes to certain crimes, they handle that right there on the reservation. They people don't go to jail. They got a jail right there on the reservation. Black folks need the same thing. It ain't about earning or nothing like that. It's about what is right. Since the first ship landed with Africans, when it comes to the darker component of American, here in America, we've been catching hell. And it's time for things to change. We need our own land. We need our own way of government. Because we've been backstabbed. We backstabbed just about everywhere we go in the world. We got to fight for this, y'all. We got to fight that promised them a mule and an acre hundreds of years ago. They still ain't gave it to us. Oh, y'all get welfare and stuff like that. You know what? I take as much as I can of that too. I don't care if I was a fucking billionaire. I want that too. You know why? Because my ancestors, that back in the day, they worked like dogs in them fields. Even the ones in the household, even they were backstabbing motherfuckers, a lot of them. Not all of them, but a good amount of them was backstabbing motherfuckers. They deserve it too. Blood, sweat, and tears. That's all our ancestors really received as credit of their hard work. We need to get back to how the way we raise our children. During my lifetime, I have saw the breakdown of how the way the government has affected the black household, saying that black people couldn't whoop their children. It's a difference between whooping and disciplinary than abusing. A good parent know if you really angry with your child, you don't put your hand on your child then. You might mess around and hurt her. You move along. I'm going to let y'all go. Because y'all can keep on talking. But this is BWPOV, a black woman's point of view. Like, share, and subscribe.